Hi everyone, this is my discussion post for week 7. For the first question, how would a biologist define evolution, and how do you non-scientists define it differently? So first, based on our readings, a biologist would define evolution as change in the genetic makeup or population over generation. It's not about an individual animal turning into something else. It's about population gradually shifting through things like natural selection or mutation, or maybe a genetic drift. Biologists are thinking in terms of genetics, long-term spans, and testable mechanisms. But when I talk to people who aren't in biology, should I say, or when I see how the internet describes evolution, it's often totally different. A lot of people think evolution means humans came from like monkeys, or animals randomly turned into other animals. Some see it as just a belief instead of scientific theory backed by a lot of data, honestly. Online, you'll even see evolution talked about almost like a worldview competing with a religion. These differences exist mostly because evolution is complicated and easy to oversimplify. Also, most people first hear about it in debates, not in biology class, so they get versions shaped by culture wars rather than science. And anytime something is connected to identity of religion, misunderstanding are more likely to happen. So, for the question number 2, can Christians believe in evolution, and is it a core tenet of them in faith? The second question is a big one because Christian allowed to believe in evolution, and short answer is yes, depending on how someone interprets the scripture. Christianity has a long history of wrestling how a God created the world, and there isn't just one viewpoint with faith. Plenty of Christians hold young earth or old earth creationism, but many others, pastors, scientists, theologians, even whole denominations, believe that God may have used evolution processes to bring about life. Evolutionary processes. The key thing is that believing in evolution does not replace God. It just describes how creation may have unfolded. Creation can affirm both God is our creator, and evolution describes the biological mechanism of how life is diversified. So, evolution is a core tenet of Christian faith. No, the core doctrines like the Trinity, resurrection, the image of God, salvation through Christ do not depend on exact scientific mechanisms God used in Genesis. Evolution might affect how someone reads the Earth chapter of the Bible, but it doesn't redefine the gospel. So the third question is, what purpose did the creation accounts serve for the people around 1450 BCE? Do we read them the same way today? When we look at the creation account of Genesis through the lens of Cornerstone Core, especially in the historical literary context, it becomes clear that Genesis wasn't written as a science textbook. Around 1450 BCE, the Israelites were surrounded by cultures like Egypt, and that they had their own creation myths, usually violent, chaotic stories that were God's fight, that were the God's fight in the world's form as an accident. Genesis communicates something radically different. It reveals God creates intentionally, peaceful, and with purpose. A God who brings order of chaos, a God who makes humans in his image and gives them dignity, identity, and responsibility. The purpose of a creation story for the ancient audience was theologically and rational. It told them who God is. It told them who they are, and it told them what the world is. So do we read it the same way today? Not exactly. We still value the theological truths, God as the creator, human dignity, goodness of creation, but we also recognize our modern context includes science, technology, completely different questions. So while the message still applies, the way we understand the genre of Genesis may look different than how ancient Israel perceived it. So overall, the evolution in biology is about genetic change and population, not individuals. Christians can absolutely believe in evolution without compromising core doctrines, and creation accounts originally served to teach ancient Israelites about God's character and their identity, not to function as scientific explanations. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to hearing all of your thoughts.